I don't know if you can see this really closely, but can you see it? No, it's in the other little cup holder. There's some Uno cards in that little section of the sofa, and you know I love Uno. Uno is my favourite card game ever, I swear. Hello honeys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're just joining me now then, hi, my name's Imogen. You're probably thinking this is a new setup, but I thought, let's chill. This is going to be a story time video. I thought, why not just sit with no light, just the natural daylight, which is actually really sunny. Thank you, England, I love you. It's sunny today, so I thought, why not film just in front of the window, be chilled, sit in front of the sofa and just love life. I mean, the sun's probably gonna dip in and out, but hopefully this story's gripping, so then you won't really care about the lighting situation. And hopefully you didn't come here for my lights, because let's be real, I'm not the best YouTuber in the world. If you are new here, please subscribe and hit that like button. I would be so grateful. For today, we have part 4 of failed friendships. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to film. I film videos and then I'm like, oh, I want to put this one up, and then I'm like, oh, but I need to do failed friendships. But failed friendships part 4 is here, and we are here to stay. So today we are hitting part 4, failed friendships, so buckle up, get ready, because let's get ready to rumble. I used to love that film, Space Jam. Okay, just quickly as well before, I've got a little bit of a disclaimer. Not disclaimer, but in my last video I got a lot of comments about having a boyfriend that was 5 years older than me and I was younger. I just need to clarify that, again, this is something I'm not proud of. I was young and I make mistakes, and everyone makes mistakes in their lives. You know, I'm not going to judge anyone. Everyone else has made mistakes in their life. But what I want to say is that he didn't know how young I was for the very beginning. I lied a lot. I was silly. I looked older when I was younger. I wanted to be older when I was younger, and I'm not making these stories for you to be like, oh, I'm 15, I need to go out with a 20-year-old. Definitely not. But what I'm saying is that I make these videos and share my stories because maybe some of you can relate. Maybe some of you might look at that and think, oh, I'll learn from her mistakes. I just share these videos with you because I want to tell you what I've been through and share with you, because hopefully this helps one person. If you are in a toxic friendship, a toxic relationship, then hopefully this video helps you in any way, shape or form. Or you might just like listening to my drama. So yeah, I am in no way condoning what I did, but everyone makes mistakes, we're all human, and I'm very open and honest with you, so I just want you to know that I love you and I would never judge you, so hopefully it's the same back. Also, just quickly need to explain, this is too much information for my young angels, but I just want to tell you that we didn't have sex, me and my first boyfriend, until I was 16. So we waited until I was legal. So it's not as if, you know, I was having underage sex and I'm telling you to go and have underage sex. I'm not judging anyone, but I'm just saying to you, I just want you to know that. Quick disclaimer. P.S. I love you all so much. So let's start the video. Right, so part 4. Oh, I don't even know what I called this one, by the way. I had something in my head what I was going to call it, but let's start this. So basically, me and my boyfriend want a break at this time. He'd got back with his ex-girlfriend, with his child, and yes, if you haven't watched part 1, 2 and 3, there's a lot to catch up on, so I will link them down below, but go and check them out before you check this one out. Also give it a thumbs up if you want to join the fam. Actually, no, it's not a thumbs up to join the family. Subscribe and then hit the thumbs up button. See, I'm a bad YouTuber. Anyway, so we were on a break at this point, and my friend Laura, my best friend Laura, my best friend Laura, there's so many stories of these, you don't even know, like I can't even cope with this failed friendship situation. So basically my best friend Laura was seeing this boy, and she really liked this boy, and she really wanted me to like his best friend. Now, I still loved my first boyfriend. I was still completely love. I mean, I thought I loved him. I look back now, it was vastly different to what I think love is, but at the time I thought I was completely besotted with him. I would never find anyone like him. He was the one for me. And you know when you have it in your head, like, this is the one, this is the one, this is the one I've been waiting for. What's that from? What film is that? Anyway, so I had it in my head that he was the one, so no one else was going to come close. Anyway, I used to hang, obviously she was my best friend, she lived with me. I used to go out with her and him and his mates. One of which, his mates, really liked me, and that was Laura's boyfriend, or the boy she was seeing, his best friend. The boy was so lovely. He really tried to sweep me off my feet, but you know when it's just like, oh, I don't know how to explain it. When your mind is set on someone else, no matter what this person does in front of you, you compare them to the other person and they could spoil you rotten. But for me, I don't care about materialistic things. I was so in love with my ex-boyfriend. This boy could have wanted to take me on every trip and everything, but I just didn't care, because that's not love to me. And I know it wasn't love anyway, because he was just trying to date me, but I just feel like I wasn't in it. I wasn't in that headspace. He was really sweet though, sent flowers to my house, like really tried to like graft me. Love that word, graft. Graft, as if I'm like some prize, which I'm definitely not. And no one's a prize anyway, because you're a princess. So, but all my HUNS are princesses. Not a prize to be won, do you know what I mean? Anyway, stop going off on tangents. So basically, we spent a lot of time together as a four, but it just wasn't. I mean, he was, I guess, a rebound, but not really a rebound, because I just wasn't going there. It just wasn't for me. He was older than me, not that much older than me, like my ex-boyfriend, but he was like 2 years older than me, and he was just really young in my head. And I was like, I know I was young, but I always think I've had an older head on my shoulders. My parents brought me up quite old-fashioned, so I feel like I've looked at things like the one you lose your virginity to, the one you know, do all these things with, that's the person you're going to end up marrying. It doesn't work out like that for everyone. For some people it does, but for me it didn't. This is quite a good one. This is quite, well, it's not a good one. It's not a good one. So anyway, one night we had this night out. And yes, I admitted in the last video, and I'm going to admit it again, I used to go underage clubbing. I really hope you don't judge me. But again, we've all made mistakes. That was one of my mistakes. I wish I hadn't done it, because when I turned 18, clubbing was so, like, such a thing of the past for me. Because when I turned 18, I wasn't excited about going clubbing. I literally went home so early on my 18th birthday. Oh, I told that in the last video, Imogen, you're repeating yourself. Stop being weird. Yeah. So I went underage clubbing, and so did my friend, and we used to work for a lot of clubs in Brighton. I used to flyer. That was one of my jobs. Even when I was underage, they just didn't know. We covered for my friend one night, and they ended up offering us a job. They never asked us for ID. They just assumed we were older, which was amazing, because we got into clubs and we got our friends into clubs. But really, Imogen, like, I could have got them in bad trouble. But when you're young, you just don't think. You don't think about consequences as much. Anyway, so we went out clubbing, me, Laura, what should I call the two boys? Okay, Laura's boyfriend, is that little bit of hair chilling? Yeah, perfect. Laura's boyfriend can be called Patrick. The boy that I was talking to was called, so weird when you have to think of names, you can't. So strange. Daniel. Have I said Daniel before? Maybe I have, let's call him Daniel. Have I said a Daniel before? Probably have. Patrick and James. Okay, James. Probably said James before anyway, but whatever. Okay, so Patrick was Laura's boy, James was mine. Not mine, but you know what I mean. So, we went out clubbing this night. This night that we went out, I was on antibiotics. I was drinking nothing. Not because the fact I was 15, you'd thought that would have stopped me, but no. I used to get drunk underage. Did you see how awkward I got then? Because I'm admitting something else that I made a mistake of, but we all make mistakes, we live and learn from them, trust me. I mean, I don't drink now, so I obviously did all my drinking back then. So I wasn't drinking because I was on antibiotics, and I take those antibiotics very seriously. Horrible things. Basically, Patrick and James, they had a lot of other boyfriends that were out that night, and they went to the bar and they were like, girls, what do you want? I remember this so clearly, this part anyway. I was like, oh, please can I have a pineapple juice? Just a pineapple juice. Laura was drinking, she was getting drunk. And I was like, just a pineapple juice, because obviously I'm on antibiotics. I don't think I remember telling them that, but I remember just saying I want antibiotics. I just want a Primark. What? I just want an antibiotics, I just want a Primark. I just want a Primark. Oh, what? I'm uploading a Primark video later, so maybe that's in my head. Just ignore me. So I remember just saying I wanted a pineapple juice. Anyway, they had a lot of friends, some of which I knew, some of which I didn't know, and they were all at the bar. Anyway, James was talking to his mates, and this random guy who, in the midst of everything, it was really dark. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't really even think. I didn't think. I'm gonna be honest with you, this is me telling you, please do not take, I mean, I know no one would do this, but I took a drink from a random man because I thought this man was part of their friendship group. He definitely wasn't part of their friendship group. Oh, never forget this. Well, I forget some of it, that's for sure. Watch this one. It gets very good, this one. It's quite juicy, juicy mangoes. Okay, so I took this drink from this man, and it wasn't a juice. And I remember drinking it thinking, Imogen, don't be rude, like, don't go round and go, you didn't get me a pineapple juice. I think it was either orange juice, cranberry juice, or a Coke. I can't really remember. It must have been a Coke, because I hate fizzy drinks. It was a Coke, because I hated fizzy drinks, and I remember thinking, oh my god, I hate fizzy drinks. What do I say? So I just kept drinking it, and I was like, just don't be rude, because that was my best friend's boy she was trying to see. So I wasn't going to go round to all of them and be like, that little diva, like, I wanted a pineapple juice. Do you know what I mean? They were older than us. Anyway. So then we go off dancing, and then this is where my night becomes a massive, massive blur. A massive blur. Bearing in mind the club that we were working in, this is vital information for the story, the club that we were in that night was on the seafront, and I used to flyer for them. So a lot of their major nights, I was the the promoter with Laura. So we used to work, I can't even believe I did it at that age, like really Imogen, like, are you okay? Didn't sleep so bad. I mean, I'm a mess now when I do driving in the day because I'm learning to drive. I'm a mess now when I'm learning to drive in the day. I go to sleep about 8. Can you imagine doing that? Working all those nights and going to school or going to college? Can't cope. I'm still young, I'm 25, I'm still young. Stop being weird. Just know that the club we're working in, I knew them very, very well. This is where my night becomes an incredibly embarrassing blur. Like, you don't. Ended up, I mean, a lot of this is people telling me this, a lot of this is blurry bits of memory. I mean, it's really crazy how little bits come back to you, but I do remember one part. I'm on the floor in the toilets, being sick, right? Sorry if anyone doesn't like sickness, by the way, turn away now. I was being sick, not turn away, put me on mute. I was being sick, and then also, this is so rank, I can't believe I'm telling anyone this. I can, because you're my best friends. But I was being sick, and then also it was coming out the other end. It was up the wall. I was then turning around doing that one. It was coming out of both ends completely. I was blacking out, then waking up, and then I remember a woman bouncer trying to get me out or something. No. So this is by this point, Laura is nowhere to be seen, right? And I know Laura was nowhere to be seen because James, my little angel, James was a little angel for looking after me. He was getting escorted out by the woman bouncer. So all I heard was, when I sort of came back round, was, no, I'm looking after her. Like, he said, that's my girlfriend, I think, because in the morning I remember him telling me, he said, that's my girlfriend, because otherwise they would have been like, why are you randomly in here? But he was like, that's my girlfriend, she hasn't been drinking, I don't know what's happened. I wasn't his girlfriend, just quickly. But he was loving life at that point, he was telling everyone. She's absolutely out of it, I'm gonna tell everyone she's my girlfriend. We're out on the seafront now at this point, by the way. So I've blacked out, don't know what's happened in that club, do not know. I just know that it was this way, like that situation, everywhere. In front of everyone, yeah, everyone I work with, I don't even remember it, I just got told it. So then we're on the seafront at this point, and I'm getting carried, and bearing in mind, James isn't a tall or big lad, like, he's quite slim build, he's probably the same height as me, and I'm getting carried up this ramp on Brighton seafront. And I just was waking up, coming back round, waking up, coming back round. I don't remember it too much. One thing I do remember, and this is, I don't know why I remember this. I'm being carried by James. I think Laura was up ahead with her baby boy. What's his name again? Patrick. So she's up ahead, and I'm screaming, take me to my mum's, take my bank card. So I've got my bank card in my hand. Still remember it, Nationwide, you know it. Staying there with my bank card, and I'm screaming out my PIN number. Like, I am screaming out my PIN number. But Laura knew my PIN anyway, because some stuff I'd get her, or I'd get some money out, like she'd do it on nights out sometimes, so she just knew my PIN code. Anyway, I'm screaming my PIN number, right? This poor boy's carrying me. Like, I'm a lump at this point, because I'm like long gone, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like just chilling, right? By this point, I wasn't aware as what had happened in the club. I was so oblivious, so unaware. I was so out of it. All I remember, I don't remember getting in a taxi. I don't remember losing my bank card. I don't remember anything. I remember 3 things. Getting my Coca-Cola, being sick and, you know what, in the toilets, and then being carried up the ramp. That was it. Oh, and this. Oh, so then, I remember this in the morning. So basically, Patrick, where Patrick lived, he had 4 floors and he was in an attic room. And I remember my head being bashed against the banisters because poor James is trying to carry me up these tiny stairs. So I remember being woken up because my head was being whacked on the banisters. Never forget that. But I still didn't know where I was. I just saw banisters and like woodness, but it was dark. I just saw wood, but it was dark. And I woke up with my head on the toilet. And this is so horrible. This is so rank. But James, God bless James. God bless James, because without James that night, physically don't know what I would have done. I woke up on the floor with my head in the toilet, and like up the wall was terrible situations. Like, it just was mortifying. Like, how James saw me in that state then still liked me, never have a clue. Never have a clue. Me and James never ended up together, by the way, but we weren't meant to be together because I saw him recently and we're just definitely on different wavelengths. Anyway, basically, James had said to me as I was coming around, I was so weak the next day. I couldn't piece anything together. I didn't know where we were. I'd never been in this bathroom before. I was like, what is going on? Anyway, long story short, James basically explained, and James said we should leave. So I was like, James, I'm so weak. He was like, yeah, I know, but I need you to get something to eat. And I was like, I don't know where my bank card is. I was still in my heels. I looked a state, and I was like, oh my God. And then he was like, let's just leave. He was like, look, I've got some trousers, like some trackies, you wear them, I'll wear these shorts, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I only have heels. He was like, you can wear my trainers. His trainers were like 2 sizes too big for me. But anyway, he was like, let me take you for some food. So we went and sat in this cafe, and I said to him, where's Laura? I kept saying, where's Laura, where's Laura? And he was like, well, she's in there, she's in there. And I was like, where are we? And he was like, we're at Patrick's house. And I was like, right. So I'm being sick, projectile vomiting, blacking out. Something's clearly happened, and I'm ended up here. So I had to go at him. I was like, why would you bring me back here? Like, why wouldn't you take me to my dad's house? I had keys in my bag. I was like, why would Laura not tell you to go there? Like, why did you not let Laura take me home? He said Laura was whacking my face, telling me if I don't get my act together, I'm going to ruin her nights because she won't be able to spend the night with Patrick. She was whacking me, going, wake up, like, what are you doing? You're going to ruin my night. Sorry, I didn't swear there. I went quiet. I blanked it out for my HUNS. And he was like, Imogen, you really need to get rid of that girl as a friend. And I was like, no, she wouldn't do that. But in my head, I'd remembered sort of being slapped a bit. But he said, Imogen, I'm not going to lie to you. He was like, I swear, she was literally hitting you. And I was like, in front of Patrick, and he didn't really care. And they said, but everyone thought you were drunk. And I was like, but I wasn't drinking. I didn't have a drink except a Coke from one of your mates at the bar. And he was like, my mates wouldn't have given you a Coke. Like, no, none of my mates gave you a drink. No one ever remembered giving you a drink. I was like, yeah, they did. I was going mad. Anyway, so we're sat at this cafe, and he literally was telling me, Imogen, honestly, like, you need to cut that girl off. And I was like, no, she wouldn't have wanted me to go back anyway. So then he dropped me at my dad's that night, and I went back at like 6 or something. And I literally conked out. And then I heard the doorbell go at 12 o'clock that night, and it was her, and she'd lost her keys. And I was like, right, because she lived at mine. And she came up, and I was like, why would you ring the doorbell at 12? Like, why didn't you call me? And she was like, left my phone, like my phone's got no battery because I was at Patrick's. So I was like, right. So she came in, and I was like, did you have a good night? She was like, yeah, if it wasn't for you trying to ruin it. And then when she said that, I was like, it's all clicked. You were slapping me. You didn't want me to come home. And I said to her, why didn't you bring me home? Like, I remember screaming out my PIN number, telling you to take money out and take me home. I said, you could have dropped me home. And I mean, even if James had come back, I mean, my dad would have hated that. But if that was the situation, James could have come back, looked after me. I don't know, my parents would have looked after me. My dad was there, living there at the time. Do you know what I mean? My dad remembers this so clearly. She was like, I didn't want you to ruin my night. Like, you had to come back. And then I was like, why didn't you put me in a bed then? Or like, let me sleep on a floor instead of sleeping in a cold, hard, you know, not that I cared, but like, why would you put me in the bathroom? She was like, because me and Patrick were having sex. I was like, right. So he's my boyfriend now. I was like, right. It gets worse, by the way. It gets worse. Let me just change my position because I'm getting uncomfortable and I need to tell you about this. It gets worse. Oh yeah. So then it turned out that I had had my drink spiked. Problem was, where I was at in the club, I'm underage. It was a really difficult situation because having looked at the CCTV with the club, because obviously I knew them so well, they couldn't get a really close-up image of the guy, and they were like, there is no way you could even do anything with this. I would literally have lost everyone their jobs there because they had an underage person in the club knowingly because I worked there. It was a really difficult situation, but they did see on CCTV that someone it was an older man, and he wasn't with anyone. He gave me a drink. He gave me a drink, and I did get my drink spiked because that essentially anyway was the only explanation. So I had my drink spiked, and I promise you it is the scariest thing in the world, probably scary for everyone around you, because I mean, apparently I was just I don't know, I was in a different world. I was in a different world, apparently. Thank God for James. Thank God for James. This is where it gets worse. So when I got home, I realised my bank card was missing. And I was like, I probably would have lost it, so I've got to call up and cancel it. Anyway, when I called up and cancelled it, they said, can we go through the last transactions just to see if you were the person that used it? Otherwise, we can try and put a block on those transactions, or, you know, whatever. At 12:55 or something like that in the morning, 12:55 in the morning of that night, £230 was taken from a cash point from my bank. £230. I gave my bank card, admittedly, and was shouting out my PIN number for you to take me home and pay for my taxi. So, who took that money? I tried to piece everything together because obviously Imogen has no recollection of timings or whatever. But I said to James, what time did we leave that club? And he said something like 12:30 or something like that. And I was like, right. I said to him, did Laura ever go to a cash machine and did she pay for the taxi? And he said, yeah, she paid for the taxi back to Patrick's house and she went to a cash machine. She made us go over to Buddy's, which is by Brighton Seafront, and there's a cash machine near there, and she took money out. It's either a massive coincidence that £230 goes out of my account when I gave my best friend my card, shouting out my PIN number on the same night at the same time. I mean, what can I say? So I questioned her and I said, £230 went out of my account. She was like, well, you lost your bank card, didn't you? You were throwing it around last night everywhere, shouting your PIN number. I was like, who would have been behind me, looked at me going like this when I gave the card to you, I was issuing it to you, shouting my PIN number out, and then grabbed it and ran to the cash machine. And guess where the cash machine was that the £230 was taken out from? Along the seafront. Right by where James told me Laura had stopped off to get money out. I mean, there's every single finger pointing at her, but she managed to make me feel bad. She was like, as if you'd accuse me of stealing from my best friend, as if I'd do that to you. I looked after you, I took you back. Looked after me. But honestly, the friendship that we had was abuse. Like, honestly, angels, if I can tell you one thing that I've realised now, the friendship that we had was abuse. She abused me every single day. She ruined my confidence. She made me feel so small and belittled me and manipulated me so that everything that she did wrong, I apologised for. Everything she did wrong. I ended up probably apologising about that, about accusing her. Even though I know she took it. There's no other way there's no other way. I know she took the money. I know she took that money. because then the next day she went out for dinner with him. She was like, just got back from dinner. And I know she used my money to take herself out for dinner. And him. I will never, ever, ever understand people like that. And the best thing is to not try and understand people like that. Just look at it and think, it's you. And it took me so long to realise that. Because at the time, honestly, when we fell out, which comes to part 5 and part 6 and part 7 of failed friendships, because this isn't the worst story, trust me, those are coming, probably the next one. But how can someone be that evil? Like, how can someone actually be that evil? Because I know I've made mistakes in my past, but I would never, ever, ever do that. If my friend was being sick, do you think I'd care about going back with some boy? No, I'd take her home. I wouldn't take money out of her account unless I needed to get her home. I would have understood. If she paid for me to get home out of my money, I would have understood. Like, get me home. She took me to a boy's house just so she could have sex with him. Left me in a room with a boy that I didn't even, you know, thank God for James. But like, wouldn't your best friend look after you? Not steal from you and leave you there. And then have a go at you about nearly ruining her night. And I felt bad. I felt as though I'd ruined her night because I'd had my drink spiked. Is that crazy? It's actually mental if you think about it. It's actually crazy. Like how someone can actually have the power to manipulate you so much that they've done something wrong, but they've switched it on you, they've deflected it completely, and it's you. It's your fault. And you're apologising. You're like, really sorry. Sorry? What? It's like when people cheat on you and then you accuse them of it, and you found out something, you found something on their phone, you're like, I know you're doing it, and they're like, how would you ever accuse me of this? I'm leaving you if you ever accuse me of this. And then turns out that they were cheating on you, and you're like, thanks, hun. And you end up going, I'm really sorry, I shouldn't have accused you, I'm so sorry, please let me like make it up to you. But then you find out they're cheating, and you're like, manipulative. Horrible. I mean, that's one thing I've never been. I can't be sneaky, I can't be sly, I can't be manipulative, because I'm too open, I'm too honest, I can't lie, I'm rubbish. I can act, but I can't lie as Imogen. I can act as a different person. If I'm Mandy, I've got to be a different person, fine. But as Imogen, can't lie, can't lie. So that is the end of that story time. I'm really sorry if that was a bit long-winded, or if it was a bit wherever it is, but that is the other story of Laura. But you just wait until part 5 and part 6 and part 7. Part 7 will probably be like the aftermath of what happened and the fallout and the actual end of our friendship, and maybe if I'd seen her since or anything like that, I'll update you. But 5 and 6 are the big ones. 5 and 6 are the big ones, unless I remember anything else interim, but I will definitely let my HUNS know. But that is the end of the story time. Thank you so much for watching this. Honestly, I'm so grateful that anyone even watches these videos. I hope you don't mind this setup. I hope you don't mind the lighting. I really, really love you so much. Please, please, please join my family of HUNS. I think we have the most loving family on the internet, so please give it a massive thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, because I'd be so, so, so grateful, and I really hope you've enjoyed this video. That's like a big relief to be able to talk about it. I just feel like I make these videos because I want you to know that we've all been through bad friendships, we've all been through bad relationships, we've all made mistakes, we all do things when we're like, oh, but I don't regret them, because I think they've made me who I am, and we are so much stronger when we grow from something that we learn from. Like, I feel like I've got so much more to learn, but I feel like in a short space of time in my life, in 25 years, I've learned a lot by making mistakes. And if I can share those with you and help anyone learn from my mistakes, or be able to empathize with me and be able to relate to something I say, then I feel so grateful. And honestly, I just want you all to know that you're not alone. If you're going through something like that, honestly, it will get easier, and you will learn, and you will break free from it. You will break free from it. Your strength and your inner strength, you are so much stronger than you give yourselves credit for. Honestly, HUNS, you can do it, I promise you. Also, HUNS, if you're new to my channel, then basically I play a song game, and you just gotta guess the song that I'm mamming to. And if you're also new here, then please subscribe. Okay, love you. So you just gotta guess the song that I'm mamming to. I said that already, didn't I? My 2 shout outs for today go to Emily's Makeup and Amy Gay House. Thank you so much for writing on my last video on my failed friendships. I feel so grateful for you even catching up with this series and watching it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everyone says that they love these videos, and I'm so grateful. Like, I would literally sit here and do story times forever with all of you. So if you do like story times, please give them a massive thumbs up. I'd be so grateful, because I have so many story times. Trust me, like, it's weird how many stories I have. Well, I like it. I'll do more story times. Okay, well, until next time, I'm gonna love you, and I'm gonna leave you. Okay, bye. I love you all so much.